That's right, everybody. It is finally time for the first episode of the first part of Merm's modded throwback featuring Tekkit Classic for part 1. Our first mod pack dating all the way back to Minecraft version 1.2.5, which is one of the first versions of the game that I played. And even though modded Minecraft did exist before that, Tekkit Classic was what kind of popularized the idea of mod packs, all thanks to those classic Yogscast videos, which I watched a lot in my youth as well. Now you may notice I look a little different, and that's because skins as they are in current Minecraft do not work in these old versions, so I am going to be the default Steve, but you might notice I'm not the default Steve. I'm some weird looking headband wearing dude, and that is because I'm going to be using the Sphax texture pack throughout this Tekkit Classic part of the series, because I don't know, that's what that YouTube series used, and a lot of people like link it to this mod pack, so it just kind of feels right to me. And yeah, here we are in our world. You might notice immediately there's some brand new sound effects. I hope those aren't too annoying on the viewer side of things. And this is what it looked like, not too different from what we have now. And I spawned in a jungle, which is kind of interesting because if I remember correctly from way back when, Minecraft 1.2 was actually the first version that the jungle biome was added to the game. So that's kind of interesting. I guess for now, it's just a normal Minecraft start. Normal punch trees and get going. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about the format of Merm's modded throwback. So essentially, the idea is a series that consists of parts with a different mod pack each time that goes up in version. Now, that there is NEI cheat mode, and you want to turn that off if you're not a cheater, as I am. However, as I was saying, so yeah, basically the idea is with each part I will be increasing my Minecraft version. Now, I am going to be skipping some versions because if you're not accustomed to the way that modded Minecraft works sometimes, basically not every version of the game had a good modding scene. So some versions will be skipped, but I'm going to skip as little as possible, only the ones where there's really no content whatsoever. And yeah, go from there. There'll be a new mod pack every time. I am not going to just do your basic all-purpose mod pack each and every time. I'm going to try and spice it up with some specialty packs, you know, things based around magic, adventure, and just like packs with some quirks in them. Not just the same old, you know, Feed the Beast general purpose pack number 10 in a row, you know. I am going to do one of those for sure, and I already know which one, but that's for you to find out in the future now. And I'm really excited to do Tekkit Classic for the first one. This pack is a lot of fun, and there's so much I am excited to show to people that have never seen it before, never seen these older versions. And yeah, here's a throwback for you old heads out there already. You guys remember when this was a thing? You could block with the sword. There's no shields in the game, and you attack just by clicking. How cool is that? Now I'm hoping to get some coal here. And yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about the format of the pack. As always, I like to respond to comments. So if you have any questions about the format, about the series, drop them there, and I'll be more than happy to help. Now, you are not so good, and I'm also realizing I should probably turn up my brightness for the sake of YouTube. Sorry if anything was dark. And now the game really begins. Oh my gosh. Alright, oh my. Well, we already had to use it. Already had to use the old sword block. Hopefully we'll add some light to the world now. Oh yeah. So, as far as the episode progression goes, I'm actually going to aim to move really fast in these episodes. So you might feel as though you're getting left behind. I'm sorry if that's the case. just leave a comment. I'll be happy to adjust if I'm going too fast. But the basic idea is that I don't want to spend too long on each world. I want to definitely thoroughly like play them for myself, and also play with a majority of the mods in the pack. Specifically ones that are unique to that version of the game or were changed heavily or something like that. That way I'm really showing off like the differences between then and now, or the differences between all the versions or something like that. I just want to show as much as possible, but in a cramped space, because I want to keep things moving and I don't want to dwell on a world for too long. I want to, you know, switch packs pretty often. That way, you know, interest stays high for both me as the player and for you guys watching. So that's the plan with the general pacing, and as far as that goes, that means there's not going to be a lot of things like me gathering resources. So because of that, I'm now going to take a little break, gather a bunch of stuff, maybe throw in a couple of clips of things that happen, and gonna actually get to some content of the pack immediately in the first episode here. You're gonna learn about some early basic ore doubling and the old pipes. It's gonna be really fun. I hope you're excited. Here's something you old people might remember. Remember when sheep did not have any meat dropped? It was just the wool. I don't even remember when they added mutton into the game, but I completely forgot that it just didn't exist for a really long time. Anyways, got enough wool for bed now. And just like that, night 1 of the brand new series all done. Do you guys know what this ore is? Well, if I mine it up, it's emeralds. What you might not know is that these are not the emeralds that are currently in Minecraft. See, in Minecraft 1.2, emeralds like you know them did not exist. These are actually added by a mod before they got added to the official game. So these emeralds don't have anything to do with villager trading, and actually the only real useful thing you can do with them, if you look through the recipes here, you can make a sonic screwdriver, a handsaw. These are going to be pretty useful later, but it's mostly just for making tools. There's also rubies and sapphires, and as far as I remember from back in the day, they're all pretty much the same thing, just a different color. And so I'm definitely going to be making my tools out of them. They're pretty much an in-between point between iron and diamond as far as how good they are. So I'm definitely going to be making my tools out of these for at least a pretty good part of the early game. And here we are with our first diamonds of the series. Just 4, it looks like. We need 6 to start the early game, or to start the mid game, I guess. The progression is kind of crazy, but 6 is the goal. 1 death, a whole lot of mining, couple pickaxes, and we're finally done with the first caving trip of the series. Here's the haul. Couple stacks of copper, tin, nickelite, sapphire, ruby, emerald, uranium, some diamond, good old iron, gold, coal, and some redstone, all the classics. So there's a whole lot of different ores and whatnot in this pack, as there usually is with mod packs, and I'm sure we'll get around to using each and every one of them. And copper is going to be a really important one, and it's very abundant. As you can see, I have about 4.5 stacks of it. Literally more copper than I have coal. Now, the next thing I want to do is set up a real quick starter home. Just a little base of some kind, probably somewhere in this area. Maybe on that island, maybe near the jungle. Still have to kind of figure out what, but it's going to be a pretty basic home, and it's going to be pretty small, just so that we can kind of have somewhere to put our early game machinery and whatnot, and hopefully upgrade to a bigger space later. So yeah, I'm just going to grab some materials for that and kind of figure out what I want to make. So I had an idea for a starter base. There's 2 islands here, kind of perfectly distanced from each other, to have a nice bridge down the middle. And then I made a shocking discovery. We're playing in a game, an early version of Minecraft, in which you cannot place slabs on the top side of a block. which means that the bridge idea would be much more difficult to execute and may end up being very ugly. So I thought maybe we could just boat between them. And then I discovered that boats are not so great this early in the game. They are slow, difficult to turn, they break when you crash into things, and are overall just pretty terrible means of transportation. So, unfortunately, the 2 islands ideal will probably have to be scrapped. But just envision how cool it would be with a bridge and like 2 cool buildings connected together. Cool stuff. Unfortunately, not going to happen. And with just a little creativity, I whipped together a quick little starter home here. Didn't put too much thought into it, just a little foundation and a little, basic home. I used the leftover slabs from the failed bridge in order to make the roof, and here we are. Don't want to spend too much time talking about it because, as I said, I want to get moving with content. So here's the inside, a pretty basic marble brick floor. All you do for that is you take marble, which you find in the earth, and you brick it up, just like that. And then the one interesting thing I'll show you here is that I used a lot of these things. These are micro blocks, and the way that they work is basically you take this saw and you saw the block the way that you want it to look. So for example, you saw it once that way, you get a slab. If you saw it again that way, you get a panel, which is like a quarter of a block. It's half of that thickness. But if you saw it this way, then you get the strip, which will give you like one of these, like partial quarter of a block strips. You can even put those in half and get corners, which I used in the corners. And you can keep doing that till they get pretty darn thin. I'll even show you, this is the thinnest that they get. You can get blocks all the way down to this size. This is like 1/8 of a block. So yeah, that's the basic tutorial micro blocks. Not too much more to say about that. I'll probably use that in like pretty much every build because they are very useful and make things look very nice, as you can see with our little trim here. I'm just gonna get rid of all of our marble brick stuff. So yeah, that's about all I have to say about the house, and I'm ready to get into some content. Of course, our very first piece of modded content we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a ore duplication system. The end goal here is that we will have one chest where we put in ores, and out the other end comes doubled ingots. So that'll be pretty easy with the stuff in this pack, but we're going to have to use a couple mods in conjunction to make that, those being Industrialcraft 2 and Buildcraft, which are mods that are still around, but very changed compared to how they are in Tekkit. So we're going to see how those function back in the day. So to start off, I'm going to get right into the basics of Industrialcraft 2. The very first thing that you're going to want to make from the mod is a tree tap. It's pretty simple, just some wooden planks in the shape of the tree tap. And you get that, and then you want to go adventuring. Now, luckily, we don't have to go adventuring very far, because people familiar with the mod will see exactly what I want right there. That there is a rubber tree, and these are what you're looking for. You can figure out what a rubber tree is because it has a little stem all the way at the top, and it has those funky little orange dots, and that is where we're going to be getting our resin, and that stuff's going to be very important for us. Looks like there's a little bit more here, and you're going to want to just see, oh, lost my sword, what kind of resin these trees have, and then once you've taken all the resin, just chop it down and let those leaves decay, because you're going to want those saplings, and you're going to want to make a tree farm out of them, which I will definitely be doing. I already cleared out some trees right there, so we can start looking into making a tree farm out of these bad boys. Got a couple saplings planted on the ground. Now, if I remember correctly, because this is old Minecraft, should be able to just one tap with the bone meal, and that grows the trees. Now, it's actually going to be more efficient for me to take out all the leaves first here. So what I'm going to do is just go through these, and you want to break all the leaves, exposing all the tree, as much actual tree as possible, because any part of it can have the resin, and it's going to make your life a lot easier to be able to see those. completely free and open in the wild. Hey, we got one going without bone meal. That's nice. So yeah, I'm just gonna get all these trees ready to go. So I went ahead and got rid of all the leaves in our tree farm here. Just kind of show you what it looks like. Just the bare logs. That way you can easily see these resin spots. You can just come up and grab them. I got a pretty decent amount and ready to go and start crafting. Now the very first thing that you're going to need is some energy production, because these things require power. And the way you do that is not just through like normal furnace means, although it will end up being kind of similar. You need one of these bad boys. You're going to need a generator. And pretty simply, you know, it's not too hard. You just need some iron. The iron furnace is just iron and a furnace. Crazy concept. Refined iron is pretty simple too. It's just re-smelt an iron ingot. And then the RE battery is a little confusing. It won't let you click on it. All you have to do, because technically that's a charged one, but yeah, it's 4 tin and a copper cable, and this requires rubber. And this is why we did all this stuff with the resin, because rubber is just smelted resin. So pretty simple recipe. You can see I already started smelting up some copper, and I'll get everything else ready. Alright, I believe we have everything we need to make our very first basic generator here. So I'm going to go the iron furnace route. They both end up requiring the same amount of iron, because this is just 8 refined iron, so it doesn't really matter either way you do it. I forgot I'm going to be needing some cobblestone, because I need a regular old furnace. Upgrade it to an iron furnace like that. And I should say really quick, the iron furnace is basically just an upgraded furnace. It works exactly the same as the vanilla furnace. It's just a little faster. So if you're interested in that, although we're going to be getting something even better soon. Now we also need the RE battery, which was some wires, which you make like this, some copper cables, and then you also need redstone. Tin, redstone cable, and we have our RE battery, our iron furnace, and our 3 refined iron to make our very first generator. Awesome, great, we've done it. No, not at all. We need something to do with the generator, and that is why we're gonna make this machine that I'm not sure how to pronounce. I've heard macerator, I've heard macerator in the past, whatever. The grindy thing. We're gonna need a machine block really quick, which I've already made the refined iron for. It's just refined iron in a circle like that, and an electronic circuit. Now this is kind of interesting. We need some copper cables. I actually need one more refined iron that I did not realize. So I'm gonna stop you. Just give me my 1 refined iron really quick. Gonna need some more cables because it needs 6, and we only have 5 because we had to use one earlier. Refined iron. 2 redstone, and all the cables. Lastly, all it needs is 2 pieces of cobblestone and 3 flint, which I went ahead and gathered just a second ago, and we have our very first macerator. So all you gotta do is place this next to the generator. Now you don't actually have to place it directly next to it. You can use these cables, and you can run energy into things from a distance. I'm not going to be using that for my own purposes here, but in case you wanted to, you can go ahead and do that. But I'm just going to plop it right on next to the generator here, and what this is going to do is it's going to grind up our ores for this ore processing. So basically what you do is you throw, let's say, a iron ore in there. Now first of all, to provide energy to the generator, it's anything that will work in a normal furnace. So you can just throw some coal in the bottom slot, and you can see that this thing starts powering up. And then we throw our iron in there, and it starts going pretty slowly. These things aren't fast, but you can upgrade them. These slots here are upgrade slots. You can get speed upgrades, but that requires better energy production that we don't currently have. We have the lowest and worst energy production in the game, and it's actually very inefficient and burns extra when you aren't using it. But what that does is it gives us iron dust, and you can go ahead and smelt that into iron. You'll notice that there's 2 of them. So what this does is it's going to turn every ore into 2 ingots instead of 1. So very cool stuff there. I'm going to take this out because it actually keeps burning when you are not using that energy. There's a little buffer here That's pretty nice. So the other thing we're going to want is the electric furnace, because who wants to use a regular furnace when you can use an electric one? So I'm actually going to need to smelt up some more iron for myself. Man, there's a whole lot of smelting going on. And we're going to need another one of those electronic circuits, which means more copper as well. And actually what I can do, I completely forgot, we can actually use this thing now for efficiency's sake when we have to smelt up anything. So I believe I have everything. So just like before, we have our electronic circuit, and then we also need the iron furnace, which I believe is like that. Yep. And then we put that, the circuit, and 2 redstone on the sides, and we have our electric furnace. So this is just regular old furnace, but instead it's powered by our energy from the generator, and it's going to go a little faster. I'll use some resin to show you really quick. Wow, look at the speed of that guy. Impressive. So those are the 2 basic machines, and so what we need to do to automate this is we need to put an input here that brings our ores in from somewhere, takes them out, goes into the furnace, takes them out of there, and into a chest. And to do that, we're going to need to make use of another mod called Buildcraft, and specifically its system of pipes. Now these are going to be used quite a lot throughout the series, and they all have different properties, which makes it kind of confusing. But today all we're going to really need to concern ourselves with is the wooden transport pipe and the cobblestone transport pipe. So these are pretty simple. It's just glass around whatever material that you need. So we're going to need, I'm going to make, I think, 2 sets of cobblestone and 1 set of wood. Now the other thing we're going to need is it's called a redstone engine, and this thing's pretty simple. But the crafting recipe can seem a little confusing. A piston, regular old Minecraft, but the wooden gear is the new thing. All you need is 4 sticks. Pretty simple stuff. I do not want the rubber wood. We'll take some of these jungle planks that I'm never going to use. And just like that, we have our 2 wooden gears. We have just enough iron. I need more than that. 8 cobblestone is what we're going to need. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Wait, I don't need 2. Why am I making 2? My brain was a little confused there. Alright, piston. And then it was just the piston. The gear's another piece of glass, I forgot. See, this is something interesting. Using this, you can hit the question mark and it'll kind of outline what you need. Nowadays, it just puts all the stuff in there for you, but back in my day, it was not like that. Okay, so, you have any spare sticks? Now, basically, all this thing needs is some redstone input, so you just grab a good old lever. And we're going to be using this thing, and I'll show you what it does in a minute. Now, we're going to want a chest. I have not put anything in this one yet, so we'll use this bad boy. And I believe if we put it on top of here, can you, like, why were we facing the back there? Why are we facing that way? Do I have to, like, no? The chest does not want to comply. Alright, whatever. A little ugly, but that's okay. So if we do that, there we go. And now, see, I believe that's where the output comes from, and I don't like that. I want this to be the output. So maybe we have to go in from the side, which is not too big of a deal. We'll put our pipe here. In our chest. Does it not matter? Maybe I'm just in my own head. Hold on. Alright, we'll try it out. So basically, the wooden pipe will take out items that you have in here, but it needs some kind of power to do so, and that's where our redstone engine comes in. You throw that thing on the wall. All it needs is redstone power. It's going to be pretty slow, pretty inefficient, but it will take the items out of the chest now. See, that's the thing, is it's not taking any items out of the chest. I'm pretty sure because this is supposed to be where the output comes from, and maybe I can change that with some sort of wrench like this one here, using the stone gear. Yep, so I properly diagnosed the problem. It was that the red part is where the output comes from, and you can see I switched it just now. It took it directly out of the machine. All you need is one of these wrenches. Now there's multiple wrenches. This one is for Industrialcraft machines. Allows you to break them, because normally if you just like mine these, they're not going to drop the block. You're going to have to recraft your machine. This allows you to take them. This requires bronze, which is a little bit of something that requires a bit of effort, so I don't have one of those yet. But this is pretty simple. A stone gear, all it is take the wooden gear from earlier with the 4 sticks and surround it in stone. Put some iron on and you get the wrench, and all you got to do, switch is that the red part lines up with the chest, and now we have our ores coming in from there. So it's the first part of the automation done. This way we can just kind of dump all of our ores into this chest and they'll just start going. Then, now this is kind of a point of inefficiency here. It's putting out, okay, so maybe we just gotta go one kind of input at a time. Otherwise it'll start doing that. Now, I'm gonna go below here. I know immersion ruined, I'm sorry. And what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna take out of there. Oh, I did need 2. I needed 3 redstone engines probably. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Okay. We're gonna wanna do that. I believe if we, no, so actually this runs a risk of putting things in the generator, so we're gonna go below like that. Well, it wouldn't be Merm's Minecraft without some technical difficulties. My my PC for some reason crashed at the very end of that clip, so somehow the clip still saved, but my progress in the game didn't. So if things look different to how they were, then might be like if my inventory is different or whatever. But yeah, so this is what we're currently working with. I dug this one more below, and I made the redstone engines that I needed here. So we're just gonna put one there. Power that on, and what that will do is take the output of the macerator and put them up over here into the furnace, where they will then get smelted up, and then we'll take another wooden pipe with another redstone engine and another chest here. As long as these 3 engines are running, our system should be ready to go here. So we're gonna test it out, put the floor back in. We'll just use the copper that we have in our inventory here, and we'll watch the system go. So, goes into the macerator as we want it to. And then you'll see the next one comes flooding in, so if we put all of our copper in here, it'll just keep adding. This thing works pretty slow. Come on, give me that copper dust. And there it is, 2 copper dust. And now, in theory, alright, so what do we got going wrong here? The output is correct. I know that sometimes these machines tend to fuss about where you put your pipes, so perhaps we just need to put it on the side there. And then run down like that. And I guess put this pipe here. And if we wrench it, yeah. So this should maybe work. There we go. Alright, so it's a little ugly, but gotta do what you gotta do. So that dust will go to this pipeline. Now I'm hoping that this will put it in the right input slot. I guess we don't need this lever anymore. Oh, almost got stuck. Come on. Any day now. Any day now. At least we're getting a pretty good stream of it here. We're almost there. I know cricket noises, I feel the same way. And don't reject it, don't reject it, don't reject it. Are we on? Are we running? It puts it in the bottom slot. Man, why do these pipes have to be so weird? Okay. Turn you off for now. So I guess what we have to do is run it into the top block. I don't know that there's a way that I can make that look pretty. How do I destroy you? Alright. So, we can actually go like this and then run covers over it, which I'll show in a second. And we'll just dig here and go on upward. Will the back work? How do I test that? I guess we can pump in from a chest right here just for now. Just to kind of test. If I put that in there. We'll just make sure that it goes the right way. So hopefully this will make it into the right slots. And what I was talking about with those covers is what we were using before with the micro blocks. We can... Where'd my saw go? Oh, did I never make the saw? No, I should have. There it is. Alright, so we'll just take this and we'll just thin it down to the very thinnest one. And then we can go over here and we should be able to... Alright, that's not going to work out how I want it to. Well, I'll figure it out later. And now you're going in the output slot? Oh my god. Okay, so we do need to go above, like that. And then our chest is in the way. Oh my god. Wait, if we... Oh, that's not how these ones work. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna come back and figure it out. Alright, after quite a bit of messing around, this is the eventual least ugly option that I found in all my messing around, because the problem is it matters which side you put the pipe on. So I had to get this one in the top while also not interfering with the chest. So the chest had to go here so that this wouldn't connect with the chest, and then a whole lot happened. But anyways, probably gonna have to mess around with it a lot if you're doing this yourself. Absolutely insane. As long as I cover the floor up, it shouldn't look that bad. And there we go. Not the worst. So, yep, that's the system. Time to get cracking. But with all that completed, as we watch the sunrise here on this fine Tekkit Classic morning, that's going to be it for the first episode of Merm's Modded Throwback. And part 1, the Tekkit Classic series, has begun. Super excited to keep making videos on this. Honestly, it's like been really fun for me so far. I've definitely got a lot of motivation, a lot of things I want to do in this pack, and hopefully the fact that we got this far in this episode with a processing thing and a whole starter house built will show you the kind of pace that I'm going for. The quicker, more progress being made in each episode. So yeah, that's all I got to say on that. That's all I got here. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing the featuring a comment in every episode thing. Still undecided, so comment anyways, because I like to see it, and maybe I'll feature one in a video, maybe I won't. I'll decide later. So yeah, that's all I got. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye bye.